Welcome back to Exploring Whiskey.
Today,
The Honey Show.
we get a honey show.
The Honey Showdown.
Yeah,
There's
baby.
going to be one honey to rule them all.
We've done a couple different honeys reviews and really wanted to kind of see, and they're all very different, how they do it. Some of them just kind of put it in a barrel and spin it, and it's only like it's a limited amount. Some of them send them to honey farms and they have a partnership, things like that. And the prices are very, very different. So, wanted to do a blind flight. We don't know what this is. This was poured out for us. These are the 4-barrel bottles that we're comparing. So we've got the Shortbarrel Bee's Knees. We've got the Nelson Brothers Honey Cask, which kind of, I mean, the Bellmead version put Bellmead on, I mean, put the Greenbrier Distillery like on the map, really.
And it's one of the first honey casts I remember. I mean,
Agreed.
Probably
And,
the first.
Yeah, and boy, did it go on the secondary.
Oh, yeah.
The Wheeler's Raid Honey Finished Bourbon, which is an MGP product. And then Davidson Reserve. So we just released a handful of weeks ago of our end of year whiskey club event. Well, one of the things that they were doing at the time was they put out a honey cask finished version of their Tennessee whiskey. So we're going to throw that in there.
I was wondering what the mash bill was on that one.
So
it was the Tennessee.
It's the Tennessee mash bill. I don't believe it's bourbon. I think it's it's the Tennessee whiskey.
I noticed right off the bat, look at these bottles. These guys have a little honey, and the clarity and
there's a cloudiness that comes through.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've probably doing really similar productions, but who knows? Let's go.
So we're gonna start number one. So we're gonna start left to right and see what we got. Ooh, that's more like
peachy.
Okay, I was gonna say fruity sweet, but peachy.
That was a delicious sweet peach right there.
Not honey though.
No.
Just like, wow, yeah, I mean, the more you say peach
or apricot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that orangey. All right, we nosing all the way across? We tasting?
Yeah, I think nose all the way across. Let's just see how this rolls. That was
wow.
Not what I was expecting.
It wasn't.
Smells delicious.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but that is not honey.
I want to pour that over some ice cream and.
That's honey. No question about that. And that's like all I get. Like I get honey with a little bit of a whiskey note.
I get some grain. I get some grain forward. I get some malt. I get some grain forward going on there.
Just a light honey is all I get off of that. Maybe a touch of proof. And these are all pretty proofy. I wonder, what's the proof on this guy? Because this probably, is that the lowest one? Yeah, 99.3.
Okay.
All the rest of them are 108 to 100 plus. 100 and I think this is the highest at 115.
15.
Almost 116.
Mm.
That's a light nose. I'm not getting a whole lot of much.
No.
A whole lot of much. Oh, that's weird.
I'm getting like, I mean, it's not quite honeysuckle, but it's like a floral.
I can see that. A little floral honey note.
And some wood. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little toasted wood. Which, that's toasted and
that's got finishing.
Somebody's toasted. Somebody else is toasted too.
All right, you're on 4?
Yeah. Honey, sweet, light proof on the nose. Like that's not a big pop on the nose.
Great nose though. That's the best nose by far, I think. I'm gonna say the most rounded nose. There's the most going on.
Right. There's not a big sharp note of anything going on. It's just a really nice honey and whiskey kind of note coming through.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Go back to one for tasters.
Gosh.
All right. It's almost a little grainy.
Yes.
Like to the point where like youth. There might be some youth that's popping through on that one.
Yeah. It tastes green, and it almost translates into like green apple.
Green apple. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's kind of where I.
Honey's almost not even.
Like I'm not getting a strong honey at all. Like,
at first, I thought, is this a Jolly Rancher candy?
Kind of like the sour green apple, but really sweetened version of that.
Oof.
Good, but I would not place it as honey forward at all.
No.
I'm not getting much honey notes at all on that.
You could tell me this was an apple brandy finished barrel?
Yeah,
or,
right. The Calvados, the Calvados version of the Nelson Brothers.
It's not bad. Okay.
I went on the 2.
Yeah, that's the smart move.
Holy candies. That's totally turned into like
there's creamy note.
Sugary candy notes on the nose. It's good.
Ooh.
thick. It's viscous. Little warmth at the very end of that guy coming down the chest. Little bit of tinginess on the lips and like the tip of the tongue.
Gosh,
Sweets.
desserty. There's
Yeah.
like this creamy. It almost translates to like heavy cream or vanilla. Gosh, is that?
Ooh, heavy cream. That's interesting. Like a honey flavored, like heavy cream.
I'm thinking like that apple, like an apple crisp like dessert, but no apples. Just like it's like streusel, honey and like honey and ice cream. It's almost like a cobbler with no fruit, but just like the cobbler part and honey and ice cream. That's what I'm getting. I'll try to say that
Okay.
the seventh time. Oh, that's great.
I don't mind that at all.
That's
really good.
fantastic palate.
That's very good.
Woo!
That's very good. Like that a lot.
2 came to play. Yeah, you said it earlier. 3 is like there's
like
nothing
no
going
nose.
on.
It's not like nothing's going on there. There's a honey impact. There's a warmth. There's a proof coming through.
It's climbing as I speak.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a little bit of youth too. A little bit of grain, a little bit of malt.
I'm not quite getting grainy, but there's not a depth of notes to this.
Mm-mm.
There's not a big like depth of note, which makes me think younger, right? You know,
Right.
like you're going to feel like it's a little bit of a younger whiskey. It's not crazy honeyed either. Like it's sweet. There's no question about that. I'm getting a nice sweetness off of it, but I wouldn't be like, ooh, honey is the sweetness off of that. It more just is like really sweet bourbon.
Get a little bit of proof too.
Go back on the nose. That youthy note shows up now, even more. I get more of that grainy note.
I gotta taste this one again and see if it was as hot as I thought it was.
You swish it around in that very beginning. Boy, is that honey. A little barrel, little spice. The palate is way better than the nose. The nose is like, holy crap, where are you?
Almost non-existent.
Yeah, very weird.
Man, there's that youthy, grassy hay note going on that guy.
All right, 4.
Honey's apparent. It's creamy.
Tongue tingles, bunch of sweetness, coated the mouth, very like oily or thick. But man, the tongue tingles. Yeah, right now I agree. 2 and 4 are there. All right.
Okay.
We stopped real quick. Had some water. Had to clear the palate out. They are not exactly the same, but they're pretty similar. There's a lot of similar things, except for one.
Yeah.
One's totally left field to me. It just doesn't fit the profile, and I'm not getting a whole lot of honey off of it either. So
Yeah.
I get more apple notes. That is just straight apple brandy of some sort, like Applejack.
It's like this Granny Smith Honey Crisp. And I say Honey Crisp just to make it sound like more honey, but it's honey's not even.
Honey's not there. And then when you drink it, youth. Very youthy, very grain forward. A lot of grain notes come through. Not a lot of sweetness comes through. Definitely my least favorite. So I'm going to totally go out of order if you're okay with this game.
Okay.
Right now, that's my least favorite because one, this is a honey showdown, and I'm not getting a whole lot of honey. Right?
I gotta go against 3.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Let's go to 3 because I want to see, is that better or not? You can smell that it's whiskey, but boy, that's about it.
It's so weird how it's like almost.
It's very muted.
So muted.
I like that better. I do get, at least there's honey, but there's also a lot of, well, here's my hint. Here's my guess. I get a lot of high rye MGP off this. There's only one of these bottles from MGP. That's what that tastes like to me. That tastes like MGP bourbon, which would be that. Yep.
I got you.
That's exactly what I think that is. I'm also thinking this one, the one that tastes very grain forward, is probably that guy.
Yes.
That's my guess.
And this is our bomb. And this is 4.
That's where I'm not sure. Probably. All right, let's go to 2.
We were dialed.
Oh man, that is sweet. I mean, that has everything. That just screams honey. That's a dessert pour all the way around.
That smells great.
Solid mouthfeel, little bit of proof, but not like a big bomb of proof, but just like nice sweetness, nice coating of the mouth. Very good.
Nice little subtle
Yeah.
hug.
It's a very subtle pour. It's a sweet, subtle whiskey.
Gosh, I'm even getting like this, like that honey and caramel just dancing around in the back on the finish. I'm just like, and then it makes me drool, gets the droolies, and I just want to go right back.
Get the droolies.
Gosh, compared to those other two, I don't ever want to see
man. Two is
those other two are.
So a different level than 1 and 3. There's no question about that.
All right, 4.
Oh, but 4, that is nice.
Ooh, that's that toast, man.
That's the
that
toast. Yeah, that's exactly.
That's that toast and
the toasted vanilla, creamy, like
barely almondy. It's like, oh yeah,
with just a hint of that honey popping through.
Great nose.
Very nice. Nothing wrong with that. There's a little bit of a baking spice or a oaky, like barrel like spice to it.
And it's a honey punch right at the first.
Honey sweetness.
It changes.
And the whole back end is just like this honey that lingers and just kind of sits on your tongue, and very, very nice. Mm-hmm. Well, there's definitely 2 classes. There's no question about that. There's 2 classes of whiskey here. 1 and 3 are kind of in the same class, in my opinion. 1 is still the worst because I'm not getting any honey off of that.
Yeah.
Like, I would expect some honey off of a honey finish, but I'm really not getting it. I do get honey off of 3, but it's not. It's just not. It's not great.
It's
not great whiskey. It's not great. Like the spice comes through a little too harsh. The honey's just not.
Yeah, it seems
popping.
To be. Popping. I'm not saying it seems to be rushed, but it just seems to be like, all right, we're gonna do a honey, and we're gonna get there any way we need to. You know, I don't know. No disrespect to the distillery.
I think that's what they told us was they put like a gallon of honey in a barrel and kind of rotate it. They're not sending it to
Wheelers.
That's what Wheelers did. They're not sending it to a honey farm and letting them age their honey in it. I'm not going to say cheating, but they're making their own honey barrels versus working with a farm to do it. That was I believe what was told to us.
See, then I go, these barrels come back to your distillery. There's human error, and not human error, but there's you have to be on your game and like do everything fast. If they sit for a couple days,
it might harden up, and now you're not getting anything. Or
all right, I'm gonna take the
so that's one.
I'm gonna take the first one and move it up here. We think
that's 3. That's 3. Agreed.
Right.
That's exactly what and I'm gonna say probably the best. Really, really good. Very close second.
Really, really good.
Now,
I think it's cool that we dialed in on the same bottles early on.
I'm there.
And I was looking at the color just in the bottles earlier on. I even mentioned on it, like it shows you though that there's obviously different, there's different ideas going on, but still our favorites are from the different. I don't know. I think there's more honey involved. There's more honey involved. Left.
I think they're working with the farms. They're doing it in the more expensive way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the other kicker. So before we even reveal this, $200. That bottle is $200. That bottle is $110. Okay. So big gap between those. So if we got this ranking right, is that for the price maybe the better honey version, even though that's really, really good. You know what I mean? The Wheeler's rate, $80. I would not buy that again.
Okay.
That's like $55, $56. All right, there's no honey impacts. I probably wouldn't buy that again either. But like the price, like you can see, $110, $200, and then we're dropping 80s and 50s. Like there's an effort level that's going into these prices, right?
I think that's very important to note that. I mean, I think that's hugely important to note that. Like,
you got to find somebody to partner with. They're going to take time to put their honey in that barrel, and that's going to extend out the amount of time that this takes. and then you got to bring it back, and you got to finish yours. So that's another step of time.
Yes.
So that's, I mean, annual release. Honestly, I think they've only done it the one time. I haven't seen it again.
I wonder.
I'm not sure. And I believe this was their very first time doing anything with honey.
I think this was a barrel that they like squeezed honeybee right into the top, into the bunghole, and was like, let's just rotate and see what happens.
See what happens.
This one was like, we're gonna jump on the bandwagon and do whatever we can do.
Do some kind of a finishing.
These guys are obviously like, these were the OGs. They know, they've been doing it longer than everyone.
All right.
These guys are great blenders. So
let's see. So number one. Is it number one?
Come on! Good start.
That's a big number one. That's a very big number one. Did we get number two right? That's a big number two.
There's no way we got these two mixed up.
Holy shnikes. Wheeler's Raid was number 4.
There's no way. Is that right?
Number 3.
What? There's no way, man. There's no way.
No, that can't be right.
This is being cut. There's no way.
That's wrong. It's got to be wrong.
It's got to be. And even when I saw the first pours, I remember saying like, that one was expensive. And I thought, I mean, right off the bat, looking at colors, right? We can look at colors and say these two are definitely these two. No doubt. We look at these guys. There's the honey. Like there's
Right,
these are cloudy.
Yeah.
There's cloudy.
Independent sampling. That's 3. There's no way. That's 3.
No doubt. Come on. Okay, I tasted 3 off my Rick, and now I'm going.
Oh shit. That might be 4. Wow. 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 Wow.
So Wheelers did better than Bee's Knees. We gotta do this whole video again.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right, I'm drinking 4 again off my. Shit me.
I don't know what to say here. That is a big surprise. That is a big surprise. I am totally shocked.
That's right.
Yeah. I totally would have thought that number 4 would have been the Bee's Knees with the amount of honey that came off of that. But when you compare them, that Wheeler's Raid, they did an amazing job. That's MGP whiskey that they didn't send to a farm to age.
Yeah, that's right.
They put it in a barrel and manufactured a honey barrel to be able to pull that off. Wow.
Wow.
Dude, hey, for Wheeler's Raid, that is awesome. I am totally impressed. I am totally impressed.
I am as well. We were dialed in and
Totally thought I was dialed in on that. And especially when we got 1 and 2 right, I was like, oh yeah, we're done.
Yeah,
we got this in the bag. So that means that the $200 bottle, the best honey finished whiskey.
Without a doubt. I mean, I know we messed up that, but
the $80 bottle is a really, really close second. And then the $110 bottle is a pretty distant third.
Yeah.
Third. That's crazy. Like a big gap of not much nose, very limited just profile on the palate. Crazy. Totally crazy. And then I'm Davidson Reserve. I don't get any honey off of that. Really interesting. I do get like a green apple, the apple notes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Very interesting profile. Not getting honey, so basically you got DQ'd.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll throw that in some cocktails. It's almost like honey was the afterthought. I don't know. I would love to know how.
Yeah, I don't know how long they did it, or I didn't look into it at all for like notes or things.
This guy, it's more than just the honey cask. There's a lot going on in that distillate.
Yes.
You could tell.
You
There's
can tell
a lot going on in
it's
this
their
guy.
it is the Nelson Brothers Reserve. There's no question that it's their better bourbon that's starting with it. They're partnering with a really good honey farm would be my I don't know anything about this honey farm, but I kind of want to go visit them just to kind of see the whole process.
Yeah, now
And
especially.
it's in Arrington, so it's what, a half hour away. Why not? That is head and shoulders above all of them. But man, Wheeler's Raid, good on you.
Good on you.
Come
on, Franklin, right? Wait,
Nolensville.
no.
Nolensville.
Who's no longer there, right?
They shut down the tasting room. They're still there, but I don't know what's going on with them legally.
Yeah.
Or if it's a legal thing, if it's a money thing or whatever. They may be.
So we might want to hold on to this.
Yeah,
this
we may want to hold on to that. That might be it for the honey bourbon from them.
Or there might be some of these laying around your stores. Maybe we're in Tennessee, obviously.
They only distribute in Tennessee and Georgia.
Okay. So if you see this honey finish,
Grab her.
grab it.
Grab her. Because, man,
That really blew my mind right there.
so much better than I even remembered. That's delicious. Like it's a good strong hint of the honey, but it doesn't it doesn't take over the whiskey. It's very whiskey forward. Wheeler's Raid, good on you. That was a huge surprise. You want to talk about a dark horse coming in really strong. That's great. And then I'm gonna, not that I don't think she watches the episodes, but just in case, I'm sorry, honey. Totally thought that you messed up labeling the numbers, but you did not, and I am totally wrong. But that was a huge shock.
I don't know. I'm sure there's other bottles out there, small distilleries.
Yeah, there's a lot of honey different
or big ones that we're not thinking of. This is just the ones we have. These are the ones that we have been graced to buy. I'm sure there's some more locally West Coast, East Coast that you can get that might blaze out of the water.
To your point, I mean, what, Nulu probably, they have one, right?
Yeah, Nulu's got one.
I'm sure Starlight probably has them. Starlight does a lot of finishing.
These are all bourbons. We didn't go on the rye trip.
That's a Tennessee whiskey technically.
Yeah, right.
But whatever. I mean, that's a technicality that, okay, they do the filtering. That's about the only difference. It's still 70 some odd % corn.
I was blown away. There's no way I would have thought that would have happened.
I will say the Infinity Pour is going to be 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, we're going to do 2 Infinity Pours here. We're not going to
I'm just doing one Infinity Pour.
You're going to do one?
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 together.
2, 3, and 4. Oh.
I'm just leaving one out.
Okay.
That's the one that it doesn't fit in with the rest. I don't think 3's bad. It just wasn't very.
I'm going to do a taste of 2 and 4 together by themselves, just because we have that ability to do that.
That's nice. I don't mind that. That comes through really nicely on the nose. Nice honey, sweetness, proof, the toast, the honey. Ooh, thick. Nice. Don't mind that at all. Try this.
Try this.
So this is these two?
Yeah, just the 2. See if the sweetness is muted with this one.
I get like an ethanol kick off of this guy.
Ooh,
that's nice. That's nice. That don't.
Yeah,
there's no pain in that.
There's no wrong with putting
that's
3.
Good.
There's no wrong with putting 3 of that one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Those 3 together blend perfectly. There's no problem with that. One just is a profile on its own. You decide what's good for your budget. I mean, obviously, that is a very expensive bottle. That's very hard to find. The secondary is ridiculous, like 3-4 times the MSRP.
Yeah.
So, you figure that out. I don't know if I'd go over that MSRP, but if you can find it for the $200, it's freaking worth it.
Yeah. If honey is your jam, like that's
True.
that's
you
the
like really sweet
if you're
notes on your bourbon.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
but man, for $80, that's a winner chicken dinner all day long. Like that. If they would have made more, if there's more of these, like boy, that's a great cocktail mixer. That's a great everything going on in that
I can
guy.
say when they closed down and Mary was in line to get what was left, there
No
were
honeys left.
no honey left.
Yeah.
What is your favorite honey stuff?
What's your favorite honey finished whiskey?
There's a whole lot of other ones that we're not, not exposed to.
Right.
It'd be cool to try some.
Yeah. Yeah. But we
There's
got
a
to know
lot-
what to look for, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the name of the game. If you would give a little thumbs up, we'd really appreciate that. That helps us with the algorithm. It gets our videos shared out with more people.
Yeah,
And we're
share it.
continue to try to grow the channel.
Yeah.
So that would be great. And I'll link up a couple other honey finished reviews. You can take a look at those. Really interesting. I'd be really now I think back to that review and man, on its own, delicious, but comparatively,
Yeah.
does not stand up. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, thanks for watching.
Yes.
See you on the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.